Hi everybody, this is Cindy Guentert-Baldo, and it's time for another Llamas Love lettering. This is the lettering series where I focus on how to do some cool lettering to use in your planners. I'm just going to use a disclaimer here at the beginning since this is something that just keeps popping up for me. I don't censor my videos. They were originally started because of the Erin Condren Fans Gone Wild Uncensored group, and I love the uncensored life. I drop a lot of F-bombs, especially when I get frustrated, and I'm sick. I'm making this video even though I am dying of the plague, so I get frustrated really easily right now. So you may catch some bad words, and if you do, don't say I didn't warn you, okay? Before we get started the video, I just want to make mention, you can find me on Instagram at @LlamaLetters. And my hashtag on Instagram for that is Llamas Love Lettering. I love seeing the work that you do. Please, I try to respond to everybody, or at least come find it, but I'm also a big, my brain doesn't always work so well, especially when I'm sick. So if you try and get my attention if you want me to see your stuff, because I really like seeing the work that everybody is doing with their lettering. I do. I like seeing it. I love seeing it. It gives me all sorts of happies in a special place. So post it. Let me see it. You could also find the worksheets at my website, llamaslovelettering.com. You can find them also in the Erin Condren Fans Gone Wild Facebook group. But again, that's an uncensored group, so don't go there to join unless you're prepared to see the uncensored realness. I love that group, but it can be an acquired taste. And then, yeah, subscribe, like, whatever, if you want to. I like knowing that people like seeing my shit. So, see, there you go. Bad words. Anyway, today's lesson is going to be on cursive. I've already done a couple of things about cursive. This is kind of like an embellishing upon that on the cursive that I've already talked about. So I'm going to just show some different styles of cursive. Not styles, this isn't like fonts. This is just taking your cursive and adding a little bit more pizzazz to it. I'm not going to go over too much of thickening the downstroke because, yeah, baby, because I did that in one of the previous videos. I don't remember which one, though. You can go figure it out for yourself. But you can use thickening the downstroke on any of these cursives. This is just taking your personal cursive and adding a little bit of a style to it. And then you could leave it like that or thicken the downstroke, and it'll just take your cursive and give you a little bit of something else to work with. So you don't have to go learn any fancy fonts. You just take what you already have and kind of change it up a little bit. So I'm not going to go through the whole alphabet either. I'm just going to show the idea. This may be a shorter video. I've said that before. But like I said, I am dying of the plague, and I wanted to get this done so that I don't neglect my channel for much longer. But I swear, dude, I'm going to be lucky to survive this week. So, okay, the first thing, so regular cursive, your regular. How do you spell regular? Regular. This is just my regular cursive, right? I mean, nothing fancy. But when you thicken the downstroke on this one, it takes it kind of to a cool place. This I just learned recently is called flourishes, like it's calligraphy except without a calligraphy brush. I didn't know that. Cool, good to know. I just call this brush pens are a little harder for me to use than just doing it this way. So this is how it's easy for me. But for some people, I've heard flourishes is actually more difficult. So good to know. I do plan on doing a brush lettering video in the very near future. But you're going to all laugh because my brush lettering is nowhere near as awesome as the rest of my lettering because it's just not something I'm super comfortable with. But I figure we can learn together. So that's what it's going to be. It's not going to be my fanciness trying to teach you how to be fancy. It's going to be my half-assedness trying to help you be half-assed. Anyway, so your regular cursive. One of the things I do with regular cursive to make it look a little bit more, especially more like girly, is to make it rounder. Like think about boobs. Just open it up a little bit. This works really well when you're thickening the downstroke because it gives you more space to thicken it. But in general, you're going from just like a regular cursive to doing like, okay, so you see how I'm like, see how I just opened it? Round boobs. So I opened it up. It's still not much different. I mean, I did the R a little differently because I'm not sure why I did this R that way. It's not my style usually. Sorry. But you just take your regular cursive and open it up. Make it rounder. And that way, if you decide to like thicken the downstroke, you know, I would say if you wanted to thicken this and keep the round look, to not thicken too much, just a little bit. Because if you thicken too much, then you're basically just negating all of the extra like round you've given to it, you know? Round boobs. Okay, so that's one way to make your cursive look cool, is to open it and think rounder, you know? Just with every stroke you make, just go a little bit fatter, okay? And on that same note, you can also take your cursive thinner, so thin and pointy, because usually I found when I try and go thinner, it makes my letters more angular. And this I actually wouldn't thicken quite as much because it would start to mush together. Like you could thicken a little bit, but like too much thickening and it's just gonna look like one big blob, you know? But I like the angular and like the thinner, you know what I mean? And if you did this with a brush pen, I bet that you could get it to look really cool. But so yeah, so instead of thinking regular or thinking big, you think skinny. Just keep your strokes very close together, and that will get you to thin and pointy rather than round boobies, okay? Let's see here. Still having trouble with my camera angles. Okay, so then another thought that you could do is kind of slanting it, and you could do it either way, but I find it, because I'm right-handed, I find it easier to slant to the right. Just kind of like the wind is knocking it over, so. Give it a slant. Now, to be fair, some people, this is what their cursive looks like. So if that's the case, instead of slanting your cursive, try bringing it up. Like, don't slant it. But for the people like me who write like more vertically, slanting it gives it just a different feel. Okay? Another thing that I do is, and this can go with the slant, and this actually, a person who's really great at doing this in her planner is Amanda Llama on Instagram or on YouTube, and she's the one of the admins, the admin of the original admin, I should say. God damn it, I'm sick. Of Eric Carter Feds Go Wild. She calls it sexifying her writing, but what she does is, and this I think is cool, and I've taken to using it as well sometimes, is start and end long, like in your line, like come in with a long stroke and leave with a long stroke to kind of like, or like something like that for your planner would look cool, and that looks a lot like what she does. So shout out to Amanda Llama. Go follow her on Insta or YouTube. God damn it. On YouTube, if you want to see, she's got a video that talks specifically about this, but this is another fun way to modify your cursive. Okay. Now, here's something that I do often. This could go with any style of cursive, but I'll just do it in basically my regular cursive. It's angling your letters. Now, this can look awkward or it can look good. It just takes practice for your own writing to see what of your letters look right. But like, here's my name, right? C-I-N-D-Y. Now, notice the letters. This is how I would normally write it. Cindy. You see how I kind of angle the letters? Like the I looks kind of stupid, but like I could do it with the I down and then bring the D up and then bring it like that. But you try your hardest to like make the letters go to an interesting place. Like you'll do hello. Hello. Now, again, it can look sloppy, but then you thicken up your downstroke. And it can look pretty cool, you know, or plan, or llama, you know. Either way, this just, it gives it like an interesting look. You know, you don't have to just keep it on one flat level. And especially for those of us, and I know I've got a lot of you out there, people who have trouble with a straight line. And I put a tip like this for the printing on my Instagram, that you can angle your letters. Like if this is how you normally write, you can go kind of, except that looks like an F because I missed, but whatever. You angle your letters and it can take something that was looking kind of off kilter because you just screwed up to looking like you meant to do it like that. So you could do the same principle applies with cursive. You know, if you angle it a little, just add a little bit of like leveling to it, it might look really strange, but it might look really cool. But regardless, if you add it that way, it looks like you tried to do it that way rather than just screwed up. Another thing that I do is I mix printing and cursive sometimes. So like print B, print U. Sometimes I don't connect all the letters, like don't always do this. Like I don't always connect the letters. Kind of, it's a combination of just being sloppy, like I mix my printing and my cursive up because I'm lazy, and also that it can look cool. I do it a lot with L's, like when I write my L's for Llamas Love Lettering, I do cursive L's, but I don't connect them. And I do the same with like F. That, again, it will come more naturally if you're just doing it with your own writing and you see kind of where your own personal breaks come from. But even though I know that the principle of cursive is to connect all the letters together, you don't have to. Nobody's holding a gun to your head. So break the letters up a little bit. See what, like, in your writing, just write naturally. Like, do chicken scratch, but think a little bit more about it, but stop trying to connect all the letters. And then notice when you do that, what might look cool. Like, I like this L going down and then starting the W not counted. I think that looks neat to me. And that came out of me just writing that way and being too lazy to bring the L back up again. So write your own stuff and see how yours start to develop. Look for that. And instead of seeing it as like, oh man, I screwed up, like look at it as, oh cool, I did something neat, you know? And that's how a lot of my lettering has sort of developed over time. Is I have to do certain kinds of lettering for my work, but every time I come up with something new, it often stems from me accidentally doing something and then thinking, wow, that's really cool. I should like harness that. So the breaking it up is somewhere where you can just, as you write, notice when you do that. Just start writing, like journaling, and then notice where the breaks come. Look at your journaling. It doesn't matter if it's all crappy chicken scratch looking. Just look at the natural conventions of your own personal cursive and look for stuff that you see in there that with a little bit of thought and a little bit slowing down, but if you still did that instead of trying to compensate for it, You might actually find something that you like that can become a signature for you, okay? Just go look at it. This whole particular video is getting you to look at your own cursive and find the things about it that might not be like perfect cursive, but are beautiful for you. Because if everybody writes exactly the same, then what in the hell is gonna, like, you know, how are we all gonna be different? Like, I know everyone's like, oh, your writing's great, or oh, your drawing's great, or oh, your whatever's great. Like, looking at different people out in the planner community, we see our personal writing. We put ourselves out there when we put our pictures up, when we put our planner spreads up. You see our own writing, our color choices, our lives, and they're all there. And it's very, very easy to criticize yourself. But don't, because even if you're not happy with how your writing looks, in that writing is the lettering that's going to be yours once you start thinking about it and harnessing it. Don't try and just be somebody else. Be yourself and just build on what you have with these like skills. If anything comes out of any of these videos, that's what I want for all of you. Okay? I swear to God, I don't want you to be clones of me, because this is me. This is my stuff. You know, if I went and saw people doing my exact writing all over the place, I'd be kind of like, oh my God, single white female here. But like, if you take these things I'm talking about and apply them to yourselves, you're going to come up with beautiful things that no one else can do because they're not you. And that was a soapbox, and I'm totally sorry. But I didn't cuss, I don't think. I might have. Whatever. Anyway, I'm actually almost done. First, I want to say that the last thing that I wanted to talk about in terms of, like, oh, whoops. The last thing that I want to talk about in terms of doing something interesting to your cursive is adding some extra flourishes. So I'll just show some, like, you know, like this is how I usually do like a capital cursive E. Kind of just add a little curly and like bring it around. And that could look neat, you know. Or this is how I do my capital F, right? You just add that extra little something to it and it looks so much cooler. The little curlies work great. Like I said before, adding like a tail looks great. You just stop, go a little slower, like here. Again, my name. Let's do. There's my name, right? Except it looks kind of like Andy. Andy! So, if I want to do it flourishy, then I maybe add a little like curl. Angle it a little bit. And then add a flourish to the end. Still the similar thing. You just add a little bit of extra to kind of give it some pizzazz. And then you can go and kind of thicken it up. Notice I'm doing this very fast and sloppy because I am sick. And I just want to lay down and take a nap. And I'm wondering if filming was a good idea, as I am rambling even more than I usually do. But anyway, look. And then it looks cool. Still kind of looks like Andy, though. Just call me Toy Story. Okay, so adding some extra flourishes is also fun. So just experiment. It's like doodling, except with your lettering. Okay, there's one other thing I want to show, and I will probably devote some more time to this in the future, but this is some next level shit when it comes to thickening the downstroke. So we've seen what it looks like when you thicken it, right? Now, one of the things I like to do is leave that as negative space so I can color it in later. How does that look? Well, we'll write the word. So we'll start with my name again. So this is my name. So Cindy. So I start with the C and then I go up to the I, and then this is where I stop for the N, because N is where something happens. So then I add. It's like thickening the downstroke, but you're just adding the space. And I stopped at N because then you do this, and then you go down, and then you add your space, and then you do the D, and you kind of bring it around. Now notice that I left an opening. Oh my God, this is a bad thing to try and teach when I'm feeling crappy. But see, I'm anticipating where the thickening is going to come. And I make the space. This is just a hint. I'm showing you this now, how I do this. I anticipate where the thicker parts are going to be, and I stop so that I can just outline them and then keep going, rather than thickening it up. I'm already deciding right now, I'm making an executive decision. This is just a preview. I will do a full video about this next week. The reason that I'm just showing it now is because I thought I'd be able to cover it, but my brain is starting to die. So I think it would be a good time to just stop and move on. Anyway, I plan on I will do this one next time, and then I will do a couple more cursive ones. We'll move into some brushstroke lettering. Also, I really liked doing the doodling video. I thought it was fun. So if there's any other doodles you want to see or like learn, like if you want to like do like little tiny doodles, or if you want to do like specific kinds of doodles, let me know. There's a whole range of it. Like I'm trying to stick to lettering. That's why I did the doodles that go with your lettering. But if you want any like extra videos on that subject, just tell me in the comments and I will do my best to add it to my list. Anyway, thank you for watching Llamas Love Lettering. I think I'm going to go take some NyQuil and die now. Peace out, planner world.